What is going on, everyone? Another question looming around the Houston Texans. Do they bring back wide receiver Stefon Diggs, who is a free agent? Now, Stefon Diggs is 31 years old, coming off of a torn ACL that he suffered in the middle of the season. We've heard guys like CJ Stroud and Joe Mixon both say they want to see Stefon Diggs return. But what do the Houston Texans think? Would Stefon Diggs, he quickly became a fan favorite, was a positive not only on the field but off the field as well. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want to see Stefon Diggs a Houston Texan in 2025 or not? We're going to discuss this further. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ruben Calvillo, and this is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest news, rumors, and updates. And this episode is brought to you and powered by BetUS. They're giving you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, up to $2,000. On your second and third deposit, it's a 125% promo bonus. Promo code of YouTube150 gets that for you guys. Shout out to BetUS. Now, the reason why I think this question is important, whether or not to bring back Stefon Diggs, the wide receiver spot is a need for this Houston Texans team. Once again in the divisional round, all you had at the wide receiver spot was Nico Collins. Unfortunately, there was no Stefon Diggs, there was no Tank Dell, and you could not rely on Robert Woods, John Mechie, or Xavier Hutchinson to save your life. Not only will you might have to sign one in free agency, but you might also have to draft a wide receiver as well. That is how thin the Houston Texans currently are. And honestly, outside of Nico Collins, you have no other playmakers at the wide receiver spot. So I wonder if Stefon Diggs is more of a need at this point than a want. He has the chemistry with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud and Joe Mixon have expressed they want him back. Like I mentioned in the intro, he said, I have a home here in Houston. To me, the money just has to make sense. I would be I wouldn't say upset, but I would be a little annoyed if I saw Stefon Diggs get a big contract from this Houston Texans team. I mean, you're already paying him $16 million. Remember, the Texans voided the final 3 years of his contract in the offseason, which was one of the reasons why he accepted the trade here to Houston. The money has to make sense. You see his stats this year for the Houston Texans. He played in 8 games, 47 catches, 496 yards, 3 tutties. 2 of them were against Indianapolis. The other sole one against the New England Patriots. When we got Stefon Diggs, everyone was excited. You got a 4-time straight Pro Bowler. He was coming off of a 100 catch season, 1,183 yards, 8 touchdowns. And you were adding that to this Houston Texan offense with the offensive rookie of the year and a 1,300-yard receiver in Nico Collins. There was a lot of excitement, guys. There really was. The one concern that a lot of people had, which was valid in my opinion, that Stefon Diggs could have potentially ruined the locker room for the Houston Texans. And my response was, if one man can ruin your locker room, you didn't have one to begin with. But Stefon Diggs was everything but a problem. You immediately saw the impact of Stefon Diggs being a Houston Texan. Everyone started taking you a little more serious. And I always go back to the training camp that was in the rain. Me and Harley were being, rained on for hours. The offense was sluggish. There was no energy out there on both sides of the ball. And the first person to get up and say something was Stefon Diggs. We need to pick this up. In the joint practices, Stefon Diggs, big play. Where does he go to? The crowd hypes them up. After practice, you saw Stefon Diggs working with the wide receivers, guys who did not make the 53-man roster. When we saw Stefon Diggs get that captain patch, we were asking, well, did he deserve it? And he showed you that, yes, he did. Even when he had his animated moments on the sideline trying to motivate the Houston Texans, we absolutely needed that. We lost that to his unfortunate ACL injury. I think Stefon Diggs would be a good addition. It would excite me. But once again, the money has to make sense. I could also see a scenario, guys, where the Houston Texans are, going elsewhere, going somewhere younger. You heard me mention on the live stream last night someone like a Josh Palmer. But I think the Houston Texans have the wide receiver position on their big board as a area of need. And when we look at, some of the other wide receivers available, look at some of the guys on the low, what about a Darius Slayton? What if that excites you? What about a Zay Jones, an Elijah Moore from Cleveland? There are other options outside of Stefon Diggs, ladies and gentlemen, that I think could be potentially better. But what you love is that there's already that familiarity with Stefon being here. And you know that he's locked in. You know he's not going to be a problem. And it's still Stefon Diggs. With that being said, you guys let me know in the comments down below if you were going to offer Stefon Diggs a contract, how long, how much money? For more Houston Texans content, you guys know what to do. Feel free and follow me for more. Go Houston. You guys have a very blessed day.